Hello, friends, and welcome into Minnesota Vikings Now. I am Tom Down, here with our Vikings Packers preview, a suddenly much more important game, especially for Green Bay, than maybe what we thought it would be a few weeks from now. But if you want the Vikings to take down the Green Bay Packers and sweep them and help eliminate the Packers from their playoff hopes, show me you do. By subscribing right now. The subs for dubs is a real thing. Let's get it popping. If you want free Vikings videos and you want them to take down the Packers this week, hit that subscribe button for me right now. Injury news to begin on today's show. Garrett Bradbury update from Kevin O'Connell. Said he's questionable with a back injury. The back has me worried. I mean, my neck bothers me, and I can barely move. I can't imagine having a back issue and being an NFL offensive lineman. The Vikings have missed him. In the words of producer Patrick, I can't believe I would miss Garrett Bradbury as much as I have. You do miss him out there. It's not saying he's an elite player, but he is better than Schlottman. So hopefully Bradbury can play. You've also got to be aware that you've clinched at least the number 3 seed already. You got to make sure he's actually healthy, but ideally, maybe you can find a way to secure the number 2 seed this week. You'll need some help to do that, and you can rest Bradbury and other key players in Week 18. Also of note is Irv Smith Jr., who, of course, suffered that high ankle sprain several weeks ago. We are basically towards the back end of that initial 8 to 10 week timeline, whatever it is. Kevin O'Connell says that Irv Smith looks good, hopes to get him back soon. Now, Smith was at practice on the sides, doing the rehab stuff on the cords, etc. That's the first step towards being cleared to return and being activated from IR, or at least designated to return from IR. I don't know. It probably doesn't happen this week. Maybe next week, potentially, for Irv Smith. We'll see. I would like to get him back just to give myself a better option at tight end, too, because let's be honest, it's Hawkinson's time at tight end, but Smith at tight end, too, it's really, really good 1-2 punch there and unleashes some other personnel packages this Vikings team hasn't really been able to deploy if they want to. Some Packers injury news and notes here. Christian Watson is considered day-to-day with the hip injury he suffered against Miami. When he's not out there, the Packers do not have great talent at the wide receiver spot. Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee Show also commented on David Bakhtiari, the franchise left tackle status, who's been battling injuries and then a bunch of other weird stuff going on for him. That's kind of been unfortunate timing for Bakhtiari. The appendectomy is the official term there. He had a couple weeks ago. It's just kind of crazy, right? It's been a rough year for him. Rodgers says he's confident that Bakhtiari is going to be practicing this week, training towards playing. We'll know for sure, Thursday, Friday in that range. Now, Zach Tom, a guy I love coming out of Wake Forest, played all over the offensive line, has not been as great this year. He might go over to the right side. Yosh Nijman is injured. He's banged up. Zach Tom's played all over the line, all 5 spots at Wake Forest, bounced around for Green Bay. He's been filling in for David Bakhtiari, part of the shuffling along the offensive line for Green Bay. We'll see what happens where he lines up if Bakhtiari is able to play, if Yosh cannot play on Sunday. I want you guys to predict the score for me now of Sunday's game. It's the pinned comment on today's video. I think we're all going to be picking Minnesota, but if not, clarify for me. In the pinned comment, head down there, especially if the ad break comes right now here on YouTube. Key to the game, number 1. This one is kind of an obvious one, but throw it to Justin Jefferson? I think it makes sense. I know Jair Alexander is a great corner. You can find ways to not get him matched up on him or free him up anyway. I think Kevin O'Connell's proven he can do that, both his time in L.A. with Sean McVay and, of course, here in Minnesota with Justin Jefferson. To be quite honest, they need to deliver as much as possible to Jefferson because he is by far, I think, the best offensive player. That's non-QB, we'll call it there, since we know how important QBs are. He leads the NFL in targets, catches, receiving yards, 100-yard games. He's been unbelievable so far this year. And he has 208 yards away from breaking Megatron's record for most receiving yards in a season. Do you just force feed him, especially if you've got a lead at some point, to set yourself up to where you don't have to play him at all in Week 18? If it comes to that, it may or may not, but that's the route I would go. If Justin Jefferson can break the Calvin Johnson record, or even go for 2,000 yards, at that point, should he be MVP? Sound off for me. Y for yes, N for no. Number 2, let Dalvin Cook cook. The ground game of late has been getting going a little bit more. It's been a quality season overall for Dalvin Cook. And especially against Green Bay, you should run the football. Green Bay is the number 3 passing defense here. Awesome production. And again, it's still force feed Justin Jefferson there. Rushing yards, though, they are 26. This is a game you should be able to feed Dalvin Cook. Now, the ground game has pretty much only been Dalvin this year. There's been no help from Kirk Cousins, no from anyone else, really Alexander Mattison. If you're going to get Dalvin Cook going, this is a week to do it. Although, it could also be a good week to try to get Alexander Mattison going a little bit. 56 carries on the season. I would like to make sure Dalvin Cook is fresh, especially when you might have to go to Philadelphia for a game. That's outdoors. That's cold. You like to have your ground game clicking on all cylinders. I wouldn't mind over the next 2 weeks a bigger workload for Mattison as long as you're able to do so and still, of course, win your football games. But hey, when you're not blowing anybody out, tough to do that. If you want to bet on the Vikings playoff chances this week, whatever, head over to BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. 125% deposit bonus. That's chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. The Packers are favorites this week. I wouldn't mind throwing some money on Minnesota for the upset. That's just me, though. $100 down, minimum gets 125% deposit bonus. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. Number 3, stop the run. Green Bay loves to run the football. They have been that type of offense this year. Aaron Jones on the verge of a 1,000-yard season. I would like to say thank you for Green Bay not giving him the ball more. Like, he's been way better than A.J. Dillon, but Dillon's powerful run style can cause issues for teams. The Packers' offense, after being so good previously, has kind of just been the definition of average. 15th in total yards, 17th in passing yards, 14th in rushing yards, tied for 18th in points per game, 19th in third down percentage. They've just been pretty meh so far this year. It's not the normal Aaron Rodgers type of offense, and there's O-line to blame, receiving core, all that good stuff, I know. So with that in mind, which is more concerning to you in the present moment, AR for Aaron Rodgers, RG for the run game. Get your votes in. I'm going AR because I've got scar tissue. It's Aaron Rodgers. Of course, he scares me because just when we think he's done, he gets going again. That's kind of been the case this year. But you guys can vote for me in the comment section. Number 4, Danielle Hunter stays hot. Hunter has finally kind of gotten things going a little bit the past 2 games. 14 pressures, awesome production. 12 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. You get that going against a not-so-great Packers offensive line, this would be a significant outcome for the Minnesota Vikings. I would like nothing more than for Danielle Hunter to continue to keep it going and staying hot at this point, especially down the stretch. You need your pass defense to be better. Your talented edge rusher stepping up and playing like that top 10 edge he is, goes a long way to making that happen. Key to the game, number 5, end their season. The Vikings, I think I speak for all Vikings fans, especially producer Patrick, he would like nothing more for a belated Christmas gift than for Minnesota to effectively end the Packers' playoff chances. Here's where things sit currently for Green Bay thanks to their hot streak down the stretch. 29% chance to make the postseason right now, and that is for the New York Times Upshot Simulator, so it factors in the odds of the game. Like if you're a 5-point underdog for week 18, well, that's going to be factored in for the current chances. 51% would they win, 2% would they lost this week. If they win out, they're hovering around 87%. Now, if they lose this week, they can actually be eliminated, in particular, if the Lions take down the Chicago Bears, or even if the Commanders take down the Cleveland Browns. Green Bay basically has to win out. Now, there is a scenario in which, everybody loses out and Green Bay goes 1-1, but that's, again, not the most likely outcome as far as I'm concerned. The tie complicates things for the Commanders, Lions, head-to-head, etc. There is a big factor as well, with Week 18 still to go. If you win, you basically knock the Packers out of the playoff race. If you made it this far, well, you're a real one. We appreciate you, everyone who watched the entirety of today's show. Type in a real one for me in the comments section.